So in the first video in this sequence on animating in Zing, I created this loading animation here with 3 bars that animate in this fashion. One of the techniques that I did in that, or that I used, was I created an internal element within this loader1 file. So I had a rectangle, and initially I repeated that rectangle 3 times, and I was like, oh, that's not ideal because you don't have to repeat these properties in each one of those instances, especially because most of the time you want these properties to be the same for all of these 3 bars. So I created this internal element. That's great in a sense because we can reuse it within this file. The trouble is we can't reuse it in any other files. So there's a way we can do that. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to delete this, delete that, cut this, and you'll see right now Zing is complaining because there's no element called bar anymore. So we're asking it to draw a bar or draw 3 bars. There's no bar file or bar element anymore. What I can do is just create a new element out here called bar. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I've got caps lock on. Bar. Okay, now Zing's stopped complaining. It's able to compile fine, but let's paste those properties that I just copied from over there. And there we go. We now have an element that is still being reused within this file, but now it's a separate element, and we can reuse that within other files if we want to. So to demonstrate that, I'll just duplicate this file. I call it loader02, and let me instantiate it here. So I'll go into design view. This is much easier in design, so I'll just bring that up there. So that's loader1. You can see the name up there. Let me grab go back to app. Let me grab loader2, and I'll just plonk it down there. Okay, so now we've got 2 loaders. They actually look the same right now because remember I just duplicated them. Let's go ahead and change some of the properties inside loader2. So here are those bar elements. What I'm going to do is change the color of some of these. So color, let's try amber, yep, and color yellow. Okay, I think that looks kind of cool actually. So what we now have is we actually have 6 instances of the bar element. These 2 in loader2, we're overriding the colors. So if I go back into bar, this is the sort of default, these are the default values for these. So if I was to actually go and say, oh, let's change the width, let's make them really narrow. The cool thing is, even though I've got it in multiple files, I'm changing these properties in one place and they're all updating. Right, and what about color? Let's change color. You can see here that the color changes, but it's only changing those instances of the bar that haven't been manually overridden. So remember those in loader2, I overrode the first 2 bars with amber and yellow. When I change this color, it changes all of them except for the ones that I've manually overridden, which is very, very useful. You can see how you can extend that and use that to build an entire UI with reusable components that are customizable wherever you instantiate them.